Ladies and gentlemen, it is real easy to say, hey, this guy is crazy. This guy's insane. It is a little less easy to sit back, just take a step back for a moment. Take into account what the Protestants worship. Then take into account that the Protestants ignore the Catholic Bible, and take into account the fact that the Protestants ignore the Ethiopian Bible. Those are all the Christian Bible. If you take all of the different versions of the Christian Bible into account, take them all together, it is very plain to see that in Christianity, Lucifer is the father. Of what? Well, what are the unsanctioned children of angels? Nephilim. Jesus Christos, the Nephilim son of Lucifer, which is who Christians worship. Nephilim. That's not God. That's not a deity. It's not even close to being a deity. It's Nephilim. Jesus Christos, devil, be gone from me. Jesus Christos, devil, be damned for all eternity. It's the proper way to renounce Christ. You won't ever catch me praying to that fucking thing. You're not gonna catch me blessing my meals to that fucking thing, my children to that fucking thing. And you'll certainly never the hell get me to take Holy Communion. It is not holy. These people are accepting the blood and flesh of the devil himself into their bodies and souls willingly. That's what Holy Communion is. It's probably the most unholy ritual that there is. It's sacrifice. You're sacrificing yourselves for the devil, for the sake of the devil. Blessing your children, blessing your meals over the devil. I'm here to tell you now that this is the apocalypse. It's been the apocalypse since 2001, the stroke of midnight, when the new millennia began. You people aren't taking into account all the different versions of the Christian Bible. You aren't putting them together. You aren't correlating that information with all the rest of the information. What do you know about the holiday Christmas? Let's break it down. Let's break down Christmas, for example. Well, Christmas is on December 25th because the Roman sun god Sol died on December 22nd and was resurrected 3 days later on December 25th. Decking the halls with holly. Holly is the sacred plant to the Roman god Saturn, who during Saturnalia, the ritual week of Saturnalia, demanded human baby sacrifice. The Romans sacrificed millions of human babies every year during the ritual week of Saturnalia. The tree itself is in reference to the pagan god Yule, that Yuletide spirit. The Yule holiday, that's a different holiday. The winter solstice, December 21st through January 1st. From the pantheon that I am from and worship and preach about, Asatru. We follow the old ways. We follow the Germanic and Norse deities. I am one of these people. That's neither here nor there. We're talking about Christmas right now. So, holly. Again, sacred plant of Saturn. Saturn demanded human baby sacrifice. The tree, a reference to Yule. The white berries on mistletoe are said to be droplets of the Roman sun god Sol's semen. Let's see. Christmas caroling. Christmas caroling began during the ritual week of Saturnalia, where they would go door to door performing lewd sex acts, starting things like blood orgies. That's where Christmas caroling comes from. Let's see, the lights on the tree originally were candles made from rendering down the fat of those millions of dead and sacrificed human babies that were sacrificed in the name of Saturn, the Roman god Saturn, during Saturnalia. The red balls on the trees, were decapitated human baby heads from, again, all of the millions of sacrificed human babies that were sacrificed during Saturnalia to the Roman god Saturn. Christmas and New Year's, as we know it, is the ritual week of Saturnalia. Okay? And what they did, Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea, circa 365 CE, Common Era, as we don't say AD and BC anymore, it is BCE and CE, before Common Era and Common Era. Well, Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea get together. The whole reason we have all of these lost gospels and things of this nature, they selected what books were going to go into the Christian Bible. They put it together. They wrote what we know as the original version of the Christian Bible. Then they published it. That's what Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea did. They laid the foundations for the absolute most heinous, most destructive, most terrible fortress ever. The Vatican. Okay? These lost gospels wouldn't be lost gospels if, after that happened, they didn't then go and systematically track down and massacre millions of original Christians. Burned down their churches, destroyed their books, took out all the mysticism and everything, all of that stuff that was in Christianity. They took all that stuff out. And what do we get? We get the original version of the Christian Bible, as we see it today. Rather than as it was taught in the past. Me, I'm a pagan. I'm Asatru. We celebrate Yule during the holiday season. The winter solstice through January 1st. The 12 days of Christmas, Yule. Then, of course, you have Kwanzaa, also celebrated by pagans, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is December 26th through January 1st. Then, of course, we have Hanukkah, Also celebrated by some pagans. Not all, but some. Which that goes by the Hebrew calendar, so it changes every year when those times are. But then we circle back, and what do Christians worship during the holiday season? Well, if you look at the history of these things, and you look at the history of these decorations, too, it is very plain to see that Christians are following Saturnalia. Christmas and New Year's. Saturnalia. Jesus Christos' birthday was in the summertime. And Christians used to worship Jesus Christos' birthday quietly in the summer. But then Christianity, again by Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea, got combined with what? Latin devil worship. Roman. Latin devil worship. Latin is the language of the damned, ladies and gentlemen. Latin is the language of demons and heretics alike. It's the primary language of hell itself, the underworld. And Pig Latin is the language of devils. And what are devils, ladies and gentlemen? Nephilim, the unsanctioned children of angels. Why are they unsanctioned? Well, because of the very first Nephilim. The Nephilim, son of Lucifer, Jesus Christos. The thing that Christians worship. It's not a deity. It's not. It's the most unholy creation ever. And this, now, 2023, this is April 19th, Woden's Day. Do you know anything about death? Not knowing death is as obtuse as not knowing the word Wednesday. All-Father Death. Woden. Wodan. Wodenese. Wotan. Wednesday in Anglo-Saxon. The English, Odin. We are 22 years into the apocalypse. 22 years, ladies and gentlemen. The apocalypse began the stroke of midnight, 2001, when the new millennia began. The book of Revelation. Venus is clear in the sky. Lucifer, the morning star, as the Revelations calls him, rises in the east. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in morn, sailor take warn. Only thing is, we've been having an awful lot of red mornings and red nights, haven't we? Of course, what is it, approximately 5 billion years this star Sol is gonna turn into a red giant, right? This is Midgard, ladies and gentlemen. This is Midgard. This is a multiverse. Odin is king. You might ask, now how can you wear a rosary, Seamus? You'll notice my rosary does not have Jesus Christus on it. That is an empty blank cross. You see, the cross is an Assyrian torture device. Okay? The Assyrians came up with the cross, where they would string up flayed alive criminal Hebrew people. And who else was flayed alive when he was strung up on the cross? Jesus Christus, the devil, the Nephilim son of Lucifer. Flayed alive, nailed to a fucking cross, like he goddamn deserved. That fucking guy killed children. That fucking guy is sick. Was sick and twisted. Fucking gone in the brain. You people don't know anything about Nazareth or the Nazarenes because of Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea. Just like you don't really know anything about Christianity because you aren't taking into account all of the different versions of the Christian Bible. You got to take all of them into account. Then you also got to take into account all the books that were taken out by Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea. All the stuff that was just taken out, omitted, that just wasn't put in there. Jesus Christus is the devil. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the apocalypse. And I'm here to tell you straight. Odin is king. I am going to take care of this situation, one way or another. And what does that involve? After I die, I'm going to go to war with Christians on their own turf. The underworld. Hell. I'm going to release Fenrir, the wolf. The second horseman of the apocalypse. He and his sister, Hela, the third horseman of the apocalypse, are going to go with me and Loki's other children. We're going to go into the underworld with Hell's undead legions and the Valkyries. We're going to awaken and release Hades, who is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse.